The disaster genre was a popular genre in film, especially during the 1970s. Rollercoaster, made in 1977, is classed as a disaster film, but director James Goldstone would say that Rollercoaster was a suspense film, not a disaster film. He would also add that Rollercoaster is a classic film in the Alfred Hitchcock and Carol Reed tradition, in which a criminal challenges the police with an innocent man dragged into the situation. The story starts with a roller coaster crash which kills several people. The FBI hires safety inspector Harry Calder. As he starts to investigate, he starts to uncover a plot by a psychopathic terrorist to blow up various amusement park roller coasters if he has not paid the full ransom of $1 million. The film was announced to go into production in July of 1976. Director James Goldstone planned the film to be a Hitchcock-style suspense, cat and mouse kind of story. George Segal was the first to be cast. Segal would describe the film as an action-adventure film, which was something Hitchcock would do, and structured beautifully, which is combined with Universal's state-of-the-art technology. Looking at his recent body of work, it's really hard to imagine that George Segal was once a high-paid, in-demand leading actor in films. Director Goldstone said Segal was perfect in the role as the everyman character who throughout the film is involved in some dicey situations while being continually used by the FBI and tested by the blackmailing terrorist. Segal was paid $1 million, which was the highest he ever got paid in a film. Timothy Bottoms was cast as the villain in the film and remarked, "It's the first time I've ever played the villain." Timothy Bottoms is billed only as young man. Bottoms' character in the tie-in novel to the film titled Death Ride by Burton Wall. His character is given the name Eddie Panassis. Actress Helen Hunt, who during this time had appeared on various TV projects, makes her feature film debut as the teenage daughter of Segal's character, Harry Calder. Richard Widmark plays FBI agent Hoyt, while Henry Fonda plays Simon Davenport. Richard Widmark and Henry Fonda actually had already appeared together in 4 films previously: Warlock, How the West Was Won, Madigan, and The Swarm, and incidentally, both had married the same woman. Susan Blanchard. Steve Kuttenberg, of Police Academy fame, makes his feature film debut and was uncredited playing a messenger. Filming started on the 13th of September 1976, and the principal photography ran for 12 weeks. 20 amusement parks competed to appear in the film. Out of these, only 3 parks were chosen for the movie. They were Ocean View Park in Norfolk, Virginia, King's Dominion in Doswell, Virginia, and Six Flags Magic Mountain in Valencia, California. Initially, Kennywood Amusement Park in West Mifflin, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania was the feature in the film, but after reading the roller coaster script, the park rangers objected to the story because the name of their park wasn't featured in the script. Teen magazines Tiger Beat and 16 reported to their viewers in 1976 that the Scottish rock band, the Bay City Rollers, were going to appear and perform in the film. But the Bay City Rollers would never appear in the film or any other theatrical film. It was also rumoured that Kiss would appear and perform in the film, but allegedly the band turned down the opportunity to feature in the film. This was ironic because Kiss filmed their critically panned film Kiss Meets the Phantom of the Park in 1978 at Six Flags Magic Mountain, which was in fact one of the parks featured in Rollercoaster. Instead, Rollercoaster would feature an appearance by the band Sparks for the Rollercoaster's opening concert. Songs that included in the film were Fill 'Er Up and Big Boy from the 1976 album titled Big Beat. When Sparks were asked about their biggest regret of their career, they would reply, appearing in Rollercoaster. About 3,000 people, including men, women and children, were hired as extras. Most of the actors who played police officers in the film were actually real police officers from the surrounding areas. This would be the first film where location sound effects were recorded on location, not during post-production, for the new format called Send Surround. A sound crew was on hand throughout the filming, and recording was done on prototype equipment, which was designed for extremely low and high frequencies to give the film a realistic, multiple perspective sound, which would make the audience in the cinema feel like they were in the movie. A vibrating element was put inside the seat, so the audience member felt like they were a part of the movie during certain scenes. Sound surround was also used in other Universal films, including Earthquake, Battle of Midway, and in Battlestar Galactica in 1978. Some of the posters for Rollercoaster read, "You are in a race against time and terror. You are pursuing a nameless, faceless man through America's greatest amusement parks. You are experiencing the most sensational rides of our time in Sound Surround." Sidney Sheinberg, the head of MCA, would go on to say, "Sound Surround is as big a star as there is in movies today," which he would attribute to the success of films like Earthquake and Midway at the box office, which would use Sound Surround. Unfortunately, this format was used in cinemas for a very limited time and turned out being a passing fad. Director Goldstone was originally going to include a scene of a young man on the phone with his mother to establish some motive behind his plot, but it was decided that the movie would be much more suspenseful if we never find out the young man's motives for his actions. This would prevent the audience from having any sympathy for the young man's situation. One of the roller coaster cars was thrown from the roller track, landing on a balsa wood set building below the roller coaster. 2 of the 5 stuntmen on board were injured. Diamond Farnsworth, son of Richard Farnsworth, was a stuntman on the film. He would break his back while filming the climatic ending. The opening of Rollercoaster would be kicked off by an epic roller coaster crash, which had to be toned down for the film to avoid an R rating, after it was deemed far too graphic, with flying bodies and gore as the cars are derailed and sent hurtling through the air. The exciting music score was written by famed composer of Bullet and Dirty Harry, Lalo Schifrin. Reviews were mixed. Gene Siskel of the Chicago Tribune gave the film just 1.5 stars out of 4, calling it a traffic accident masquerading as a movie, with one of the dullest villains imaginable. Variety said, "The rollercoaster rides are the picture's highlights, and they are fabulous." Rollercoaster was released in the late spring of 1977, and was unfortunately overlooked in favour of the blockbuster hit Star Wars. The film was a moderate success at the box office, but the film was considered a financial disappointment, and Universal would lose its enthusiasm for the short-lived film process known as Sound Surround. Rollercoaster is a competent film throughout, with some spectacular rollercoaster sequences, which keep the suspense flowing. George Segal is great in the role of the everyman, Harry Calder, who all through the film is at great odds with the villain and at times the FBI. However, the weakest moments in the film is the scenes with the villain. No offence to Bottoms, but he makes for a rather dull villain. Rollercoaster could have been something better, but the film, nonetheless, is entertaining throughout. My name's Jonathan. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video and like what you see on my channel, please subscribe, and if you would like to become a patron on my Patreon, click on the link below.